love this question. How do I ask better questions at work? And I get this all the time, and it's hard. I think most people know to sound like a smart leader, to connect with people, to get the best out of people. It's great to ask great questions, but it's hard. Our brains are so wired to come up with the right answer. But when you instead tell it to do something opposite, which is come up with really insightful, powerful questions, our brains are really atrophied. We're used to going fast. We're used to answering, since the test of time and elementary school and college, like what's the answer? So what I love to do is teach people 3 hacks that essentially turn a lazy question into a powerful question without sort of being rocket science. So let me give you each one, and I'll give you an example of each as well. The first is add a limiter. A limiter is just a fancy word for a number. Usually that number is 1, maybe 2, at max 3. So let me give you an example. You might be in an interview and you might ask somebody, what are your goals for 2027? Okay, everybody asks that, first of all. It's a lot of work. You have to think, I got to think of all of them, and I'm not sure if this is a formal goal or not goal. Instead, if you add a limiter and simply say, what is the one goal for 2027 that would change everything if you hit it? So I changed the wording a little bit, but the substance, like I'm asking about goals, but I'm simply moving it from this open-ended to this one. Another example might be, what are the cultures at XYZ company? Instead, just ask, what are the 3 words that best describe the culture at XYZ company? It triggers something in the brain for the other person that excites them, that has them thinking differently, and most importantly, has you standing out because you've asked it in a way that maybe they can't even explain it, just makes them feel good. Number 2 hack is similar, but to add a scale. Now, I typically use 1 to 10. You can use whatever you want, 1 to 5. And let me give you the simplest, actually most powerful daily question almost that I transform doing this. So, how are you doing is the lazy question, right? And people say, good. And they could be on the verge of a meltdown and they'll still answer good. Instead, think about asking them, how are you doing on a scale of 1 to 10? No way they don't pause, think about it, and they answer. Now, let's say they answer, I'm a 6. Now that you have the number, of course, the follow-up question is either what's bringing you down to a 6? Or if it's an 8, what's making you feel so great? It's such a great way to really give people permission to say where they're at and then dive into what's bringing it up or what's bringing it down. And the third hack, which is really like a 301 university level course, but use it sparingly, but it is so powerful. This is to add a blank. So let me give you an example of this. What are you doing at the company to transform healthcare? Where do I start, right? Instead, say something like this. Fill in this blank. You'll know that you've transformed healthcare when you see blank. People love that. You can use it for everything, for the goals. You know that you've had a good year in 2027 if blank happens. Now, you don't want to use this one over and over. You might look like a teacher's pet or a goody two-shoes. But I promise you, if you plant that question once in a while in a strategic meeting, in a one-on-one, in an interview, it will stop people dead in their tracks and they will remember that you've come in with that thoughtful question. So next time you're thinking about how do I get better at this? How do I train my brain? I want you to instead use these little tricks, these little remods that you can do to a lazy question and then watch the people stop, really think and ultimately connect with you in a way they never would have before.